My name is Pranav, and today we're going to be reacting to this Jeff Nippard video, how to look like you're on steroids.
Is it possible to look like you're on steroids without ever
Bro, they got Julian Fitzgerald on this, and Hussein.
actually taking steroids? I think it is, but a lot of people find that hard to believe.
Vast majority of people are saying, there's no way this guy is natural.
You just won't be able to convince me there's a
Julian
single
Fitzgerald
chance
is
he
not
achieved this
natural,
naturally.
So I put it to the test, and I showed this group of guys who swear they're all natural to random
I think
strangers.
Hussein gets a lot of controversy, but
Who's natty?
I
and
think his
who's
blood
not?
work checks out.
You think he's on steroids? Okay.
Oh yeah,
According to
that's
Greg
just
Doucette.
insane.
It's pretty big.
It gets a little suspicious, you know. It's a little too much.
I think he takes steroids.
Him?
Yeah.
Okay, you stay forward.
100%, I would say natural.
So are they all natural?
They've just been getting roasted the whole time. So
Yeah.
Like, are they all,
Yeah.
according to Jeff
Based on
Nippard,
their
natural?
answers, I was able to pinpoint exactly which body features people look at when they're suspecting steroids. Pinpoint exactly which
This is like every single muscle on your body. Chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs.
body features people look at when they're suspecting steroids. And in this video, I'll show you how to build up those features 100% naturally. By the end, you'll know exactly how to look enhanced without ever touching a needle. As for our 8 test subjects, I totally understand the skepticism when you just look at them, especially a few in particular. That's why I'm secretly bringing in a medical doctor who's going to blood test every single person
No
later in the
way.
video. And I'll say this, there's definitely one curveball in those testosterone results.
Dude, I mean, look at his physique. Whenever I look at someone, and when I decide if they're natural or not, I always think in my head, like, if this person's natural, what would they look like on gear? Julian, like, what would Julian look like on gear if that's natural, dude? That's insane.
First, let's break down what people think a natural physique actually looks like. On the right is the definitely natty zone. Basically, everyone I interviewed thought this look was achievable naturally with some basic training. A few people pointed to subject number 5's quads as being a little suspicious.
Oh.
But I got in a leg workout with him, and I definitely think he earned those quads naturally.
Maybe he bikes.
On the left side is the questionable zone. Most people thought these guys were probably taking something. Even after I told them they swear they're 100% natty, some people still had their doubts. So what if I told you all of these people are
I think the second guy is probably natural.
Crazy.
I'm gonna start working out too.
Do you believe me?
It gets a little suspicious, you know. It's a
He's
little,
not, like,
a little
super
it's a little
lean.
too much. I'd have to say no.
Yeah?
I'd have to say no.
Fair, legit. Are you in my YouTube comments? Out of curiosity, I asked people where they'd insert me into the lineup, and some of their answers were a little
Where I'd put Jeff, probably like here or here. Somewhere in the middle.
surprising.
At the end there.
At the end?
I gotta put you at 2. I gotta put you at 2.
Two?
Right here?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Not here?
Yeah, I can put you at 1. I can put you at 1.
All right.
But if you cancel out the person who
Dub
put me
for
in
the
the
brother.
most jack spot, definitely a fan, and my biggest hater of all time, Madeline, who put me in the least jack spot, on average, most people put me in the middle, right between the
Yeah.
definitely natty zone and the question.
How tall is Jeff Nippard? He looks like these guys are probably not super tall. Isn't he saying like 5'9" or something?
Questionable zone. Several people pointed to my shoulders as my enhanced feature. And in my experience, that usually is the first thing that people look for when they're judging whether or not someone's enhanced. Anytime I'm accused of taking steroids, I always hear that my delts look just a little too 3D. And while I owe a lot of my deltoid development to solid science-based training principles, I probably owe more
Yeah, he
of it
does
to
have
my
pretty
mom.
good delts.
Like, just look at her shoulders right now.
Oh, wow.
60 years old. Lifetime
Genetics.
natty. But if you're chasing that naturally
genetics and a lot of
enhanced
milk.
look, building a wide set of delts is absolutely crucial. And the real key is the side delts. I do lateral raises at least twice a week, but when I was early on in my bodybuilding journey, there were actually periods where I do lateral raises at the end of every workout. So if you're struggling to grow them, try training them more often. Even
Noted.
3 to 5 times
Might
a
do that
week.
tomorrow.
After 3D delts, the second naturally enhanced feature that people pointed to was actually the biceps. I was a little surprised at this, but almost every single person pointed out the biceps on the 4 guys in the questionable zone.
Like the arms are literally as big as my leg.
That's like, I don't know.
Turns
Dude,
out
those
that if you're trying to
peaks are nuts. Look at that insertion, dude. That's
impress
awesome.
everyday folks, having some
But
big
there's no way
peaked
he's not.
biceps might just be the easiest way to do it. Subject number 4 drew a lot of attention for his biceps peaks, so I wanted to see if he had any secret sauce for building those insane 18-inch arms.
Secret
Literally
sauce.
18, right on the money.
Yeah, so I was a competitive gymnast. So up until I was like 14.
Oh, wow.
Got this one photo.
Makes
I
sense.
pulled this off my mom's Facebook.
You can even see the like
Gymnasts have
development.
pretty
How
big,
old are you there?
Maybe like 12.
Muscles.
Tolga explained to me that he does a lot of preacher curls with forced reps at the end. So once he can't get the weight up on his own, he uses his other hand for assistance and then takes the full weight on the negative. Even though my biceps aren't really a strong point for me, I did manage to grow them over the last year, according to ultrasound measurements, and I owe a lot of those gains to this exercise right here, Bayesian curls.
Do it here.
Position, right?
Yeah, keep it locked.
I just started doing these too.
Up like this. And so you can really emphasize the length and position.
After biceps, the next thing that stood out as an enhanced feature
Chest.
was actually the upper pecs. A few people pointed this out on subject number 2 as his main wow factor, and I'll take a little credit for that. I actually coached Shamar to the all-time Canadian bench press record for his
No
weight
way.
class in drug-tested powerlifting, even though some of the
451 at 93 kilograms. Let's see that.
all-time Canadian bench press record for his weight class in drug-tested powerlifting.
He
Even though
weighs
some of the
205
science-based
and
community
451 is the
prefers
record.
machines over the
My
bench
boy
press,
benches like 440.
I strongly believe it's one of the best exercises for building a big,
195.
sculpted chest.
I think, man, I really don't think it's a coincidence, bro. Like,
it's not.
Everyone I see who has a big bench has a big chest.
Has a big chest as well, right?
Now, when it comes to the upper pecs in particular, it is pretty clear that an incline bench will grow that area a bit better and fly as well. After the pecs, a lot of people pointed out that everyone in the questionable zone had bigger traps than everyone else. And science does suggest that having
That's what I'm saying,
massive
like,
traps
they all
can be an
just have
indicator
bigger
that you're
everything.
on some special supplements. That's because your upper
He
traps
put 7
have higher androgen
different
receptor density
body
than
parts.
most other muscles.
That's like your whole body.
Basically, there are just more testosterone
guess certain
receptors
ones
on
make
the
more
muscle
sense.
cells there. So when you inject testosterone, it tends to have a bigger impact on the trap since there are more receptors to bind to. I never had the best traps personally, but I did manage to bring them up the best my genetics would allow. Obviously, shrugs are a staple, but a good tip is to use a slightly wider grip and think about shrugging up and in. That way you'll hit the upper trap
Science-based
fibers
lifting,
along
baby.
their fiber orientation much better. The upper trap fibers
Fiber
actually run
orientation.
a lot more horizontally than many people realize. I also think including some kind of overhead raise is a good idea for the upper traps. So that could be a full ROM lateral raise or an overhead loo
I didn't
raise on
know
the cables. And
full
even though
range
it's
of
fallen out of
motion
fashion a bit
train
lately,
traps,
I still
lateral
do
raise.
think direct neck training can make a big difference here too. But above all that, in my personal opinion, this next thing is the biggest factor that's actually fully within your control. And it's simply being lean.
abs.
Assuming you have some muscle base, when you're leaner, you're going to look much more
Okay,
jacked.
Spencer.
As a comparison, this is what I looked like 30 pounds heavier at around 20% body fat. And this is what I look like now, 30 pounds lighter at around 10% body fat. I'm definitely getting more steroid accusations now, despite the fact that I'm
30 pounds to
actually
go from
quite a
20
bit smaller. That's the illusion of bodybuilding.
I think a big part of creating that like enhanced look is just getting leaner.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Especially
I
when
hope my
you're
mic
If
is
you get
picking up
leaner
my voice.
and like you get on camera under some decent lighting,
Yeah, you look
like
crazy.
you're gonna look way bigger. It's just the way it is.
True.
You're actually
True.
smaller, but you look
Very
bigger.
true.
When you're leaner,
Lighting
you're
in a pump.
more vascular, which is actually not nearly as related to steroids as many people think.
Phil Heath is arguably the best. You could make the case he's the best bodybuilder ever, the most gifted anyway, and he just wasn't a vascular guy. Neither was Jay Cutler. You'll get more roid accusations if you are vascular. People, for some reason, think it's related. It's mostly just genetic, honestly. It's mostly
Really?
genetic and low body fat.
Someone like Hussein gets a lot of fake natty accusations online since he has the huge social media following. And yeah, he has a super impressive physique, even in real life, so I get it. But just like me and pretty much every other fitness influencer, he does understand the power of lighting, posing, and the illusion of bodybuilding. Most people don't realize just how much of a difference lighting can make in how enhanced you look, especially when you're lean like Hussein. Actually, while shooting this video, I played with 2 different lighting options. This is what everyone looked like with standard diffuse lighting. Now,
Yeah, wow, you can really tell the difference.
look at the difference once we switched to more
Yeah, that's
spot
insane.
lighting. Everyone went from
Makes
natty
a lot
to
of sense.
advanced in a 1-second transformation.
Lighting
Here's
from
another
above.
visual. This is what I look like just standing in my kitchen
Oh,
under
yeah.
normal lighting with
Some
no
kitchen
posing
lighting is
and being filmed on an iPhone.
Really good.
All I did was run downstairs to my posing room, flicked on a spotlight, hit a most muscular pose, and switch to a Sony a7S III camera. That's a big visual difference with less than 1 minute between shots. I'm only 155 pounds right now, and when you look at me posing on my own, I think I do look massive. But when you put me into the lineup of other guys that are bigger than me, I think it adds a lot of context.
Wow,
Now, right
Jeff
before I show
Nippard
you
is
everyone's blood work, let's talk about
shorter
Julian.
than I
This
thought.
guy's caught the internet by storm. The
5'5".
majority of people saying there's simply no way he's natural.
He's not.
Especially when you
He's
consider
literally not. Look at him next to Larry Wheels, who's been training for 20 years and basically started on roids as soon as he touched a dumbbell. He's looking bigger than Larry Wheels, or almost as big as Larry Wheels, and he's claiming natural.
he just turned 19 years
He's 19.
old.
That doesn't make any sense.
You're 19?
Gotta be on something.
Yeah. I've been training for almost as long as he's been alive.
I'm gonna max this thing out for him.
Doesn't even know where to fit them.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of room, but yeah, what's another 10? 360. Let's go. We might as well go 365.
You think you'll get it?
I don't know. I just loaded as much as I could. Tell me on 1, 2, 3, okay?
It's a row.
Here we go.
Dude. What a machine.
Yo. Let's get 5,
Even
6,
on gear, that's very
4.
impressive.
Let's go.
Like, his physique on gear is still very impressive.
6. Let's get 8.
Come on, come on.
But he's claiming natty.
7. Okay, this
Let's go 12.
insane.
Yeah.
Go heavier. Stop.
Okay.
That's too light for you. And you don't do weighted pull-ups?
I do. I just
You do have 3 plates.
You do 3 plates?
3 plates.
I don't even know what to say right now. It's just depressing. I mean, I should be like, I should be motivated or just sad.
Yeah, shout out Julian Fitzgerald, dude.
Here's the thing.
Really
Before you
impressive.
jump to any conclusions, just take a look at this photo. This is Melvin Wells, and this photo was taken in 1949. The first corroborated reports of testosterone use in the lifting community were in 1952. So there's an extremely high likelihood those arms are 100% natty. But if you're really tapped in, you may know that Soviet lifters did use testosterone in the late 1940s, so maybe this guy somehow got his hands on it. One person who definitely didn't get his hands on steroids, though, was this gentleman. And we know that because this photo was taken in 1912, 2 decades before injectable testosterone was ever even isolated for the first time. Not gonna lie, those bicep peaks do look a bit familiar. Here's the thing, some people are just jacked. Just like there's a huge range in height potential, there's also a huge range in muscle growth potential. If we see someone who's 7 feet tall, we don't immediately think they're taking growth hormone. But when it comes to muscle mass, people often forget the role of genetics and immediately jump to steroids. Now, I don't want to undercut
I don't know.
any
Like, yeah, genetics are probably helping him, but I wouldn't
Julian's
say
hard
it's all
work and
genetics.
chalk it all up to genetics. The dude
He could be
trains like
natural.
an absolute beast. But I do think his
Right
answer
now,
to
he's
this
natural.
question is
Nothing has proven
revealing.
him wrong.
What do you have for breakfast? I do eat a lot of like protein and stuff like that. Like same thing everybody else eats. Like I go to Wendy's sometimes, you know what I mean? Nothing crazy.
Here's what I think. Sometimes, when you combine world-class genetics with super hard training, you really can get to a level of muscular development that some people simply aren't going to believe is possible naturally, no matter what you say.
I'm in the gym all the time. That's like somebody's like basically saying, nah, you didn't put in the work, you just stuck a needle in your arm. But
Right.
I'm like afraid of needles. I hate needles like so much.
See, that's how you know he's not enhanced.
All right,
You
he's
say you
natural.
put it in your arm, and you like.
Even if
you
he's
don't
not,
inject in your
It
arm.
still takes a lot of.
So are you
work to get there.
planning
That's
to
pretty
stay
cool.
natural, or have you thought about that?
As of right
Pretty
now,
cool that
I'm
physique
just
like that
focused on,
exists.
you know, getting through school.
Yeah.
And I'm also like a big family dude, so I want to start a family and stuff.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
once everything's kind of, you know, set in stone
Wow.
and everything
He's
laid out,
19, he's
I'll
got
be
his
like,
life
cool,
figured
shoot
out.
for Olympia, you know what I mean?
For real?
Shoot for it.
Holy shit, okay.
And despite that sounding authentic, I still want a little more confirmation. So while they get their blood drawn, I'll tell you what I'm looking for in someone who's natural. Most healthy young men will have testosterone levels between around
500,
200 and 850 nanograms per deciliter. If you're over 1,000, that's a bit suspicious. Over 1,200 is very suspicious, and over 1,500 is basically impossible without steroid use. Pro bodybuilders will sometimes go well above 5,000.
Whoa.
I've even heard
I
of
didn't know they
people
went to
going above
5,000.
10,000, especially if they're not taking other drugs to suppress their levels. All right, now with that in mind, let's take a look at the blood results. Now, for the sake of full transparency, I have to say, there actually was one person who went above the normal range for testosterone.
Was it
This
Julian?
is the bar graph of everyone's levels, and they ranged from 415
Oh, they're
to
all like
689. except for one person who hit 928. Who do you think it was?
Probably
It was
Julian.
actually subject number 6, Spencer. Everyone else was in the 400s to 600s, but Spencer's levels were substantially higher than
He's not
everyone
natty.
else's.
He's on gear.
So, does that mean he's the fake natty? Well, to check and see, I went ahead and got his luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone levels measured as well, since those hormones tend to drop very low with steroid use. So, if Spencer has high testosterone combined with low LH and low FSH, that would make me do a double take. And as it turns out, his LH and FSH levels were totally normal, right in the middle of the reference range.
So he's
In
just
fact,
a beast.
LH and
He's just a
FSH
man.
levels were all normal for everyone.
He's just a man.
And to be clear, I definitely do think Spencer is natty. A 928 testosterone level is a bit high, but it's nothing really out of the ordinary for an active young male in their late teens. But more interestingly, and contrary to popular belief, more testosterone didn't correlate with more muscle, at least not within the natural
What? Dude, look. Look down here and then look up here. Of course it correlates.
range. And research actually
Except for
supports
Spencer.
this. Studies show that as
But even
long as
Spencer's,
you're
like,
within
pretty
the normal,
big.
healthy range, testosterone doesn't do nearly as much for muscle growth as people seem to think. It isn't until you start injecting testosterone and you get to those super physiological levels that it really packs on the size. Now, of course, it's always possible that someone could have used something in the past, but I think the most plausible scientific explanation is that when you combine years of really hard training with dedicated nutrition and the right parents, the results can be super impressive. If you want to maximize your own natural potential, you need to dial in your nutrition. It's
Some advertisements.
at once. If you can manually adjust the
AI
levels
food.
after, this completely
My
changes your
Fitness
goal,
Pal.
body weight, and what
Cool.
you eat.
All right, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Learned a lot. And see you later.